Hello, hello, beautiful family. This is your girl Shamika, also known as Lady Queen. I came on about 12 minutes early because there's so much going on, so much that needs to be done. So I'm a little early, but that's okay. You can definitely watch the replay. So let me address that first. Live players that are coming on, thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate you. You mean a lot to me. So go ahead and press the heart button. That's tap the clap. Press that heart button. Show me some love. Show some love. The second thing I need you to do is definitely comment. Tell me hello so I can talk back to you. I would love for us to interact. And then also the third thing is I need you to share. Now, if you're on Facebook, share to every group and page you're associated with. But if you're on YouTube, go ahead and share via text message. Send it to someone that you know could definitely benefit from this content. Talking about cryptocurrency, talking about wealth in the Black community, talking about changing the life of generations. That's what we're talking about today. Replayers definitely do the same thing, but let me tell you how much I appreciate you for coming back on to watch this video, even though it's not live. A lot of times we'll watch videos when they're live a little quicker than we will the replay. So let me go ahead and appreciate you when you go back and do the replay. Make sure you do #replay. We aren't going to be on here too long because I am trying to get back to some things right here, but I wanted to definitely bring this to you because I realized that in this season, in this time, that we should all feel a responsibility as human beings, as people of color also, just to help free the next family, help financially free the next family. And I'm not talking about giving them money. That's not what I'm talking about. Because understand, you can give someone a fish and feed them for the day, but if you teach them how to fish, you can feed them for the rest of their lives and they can teach generations, right? So that's exactly what we're trying to do. So let me thank you for coming on here. I believe that's all our housekeeping duties, but we're going to talk a lot about what's going on financially. I am not a financial advisor. This is just definitely the wealth part of the wealth community that I'm a part of, and just feeling the responsibility as a kingdom builder, as a woman, as a mother, as a woman of color, to bring this information to those that might not have access to it or don't know where to go to get this access. I definitely want to bring it to you guys. So that's exactly what I am doing. Today, we're going to talk about a few things because what I realized is, and I was just researching in it, I just was on a call with one of my mentors, and she was telling me even about the school system, and it really brought back some things. And I'm like, you know what? I really need to help. Definitely the church has my heart, right? I want to help the church, and I want the church even to get into this space because I believe, that according to research, 66% of churches are predicted to close because of this pandemic, because of what's going on. And of course, it's probably going to be our smaller churches. Well, there are smaller churches in our communities that are helping people, that are preaching the unadulterated truth, and so I want to be that person to definitely help them in this season. So that's why I'm doing these Facebook Lives. So go ahead, go ahead and share. We still have plenty of time because we have a lot to go over, but in a small period of time. Okay. So go ahead and share this broadcast to every group and page you're associated with. With that being said, what I noticed is how the wealth gap, we hear about it a lot of times from community to community, right? And I wanted to be that person, that catalyst that kind of helped in my area, people that are able to hear my voice, help them close that gap so we can help that single mother, help that that family that is struggling from paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure out how we're going to put food on the table, trying to figure out what it is that they need to do in order to live that successful life, not only spiritually, not only mentally, not only emotionally, but also financially. A lot of times we don't talk about the financial issues that we have in our house, in our community, in our churches. We don't talk about those things. We say we believe God, but yet we don't truly have the faith, because if we did, we'd put forth the work to do it. Because when we have faith, we believe it's done, so we start working, okay? It goes hand in hand. But what I want to show you is this right here. Let me go ahead, and because I want to make sure that you see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. I'm going to share this page. Hold on one second, guys. I know it might. Let's see. Here we go. I want you to look at this. I was looking at this, and it talks about a dollar circulates. And as you can read, it says 6 hours in the Black community. So whenever Black or even people of color um, have money, it stays about 6 hours in the Black community. Now, in the white community, with our white brothers and sisters, it stays 17 days. With the Jewish community, it stays 20 days. With the Asian community, it stays 30 days. But what I want to really, really highlight and what I want to get at, I'm talking about, let me go back to that page. I am talking about this right here. That right there. And we're going to just stop right there and then make me do it over. But anyway, that's what I want to talk about. And, it hurts my heart because I'm like, okay, God, we've been told for so long and we've been caught up in systems for so long that now it is second nature. I was talking to one of my mentors and she was talking about the school system, that when they begin the school system, it started in Germany, but when they begin the school system with determining what age children should start going to school, they found that children at the age of 5 did better with being, if they separated them at the age of 5 and didn't wait till later, that they would be more committed to their country versus to their family. And so that it kind of made me sit back, right? It kind of made me kind of think, because I'm like, okay, and just realizing that's why they have, even the bells, you line up, trying to get them in a programmed way of even how to act. And I understand, order, yes, that's amazing. But just realizing, and then the first thing you do at school, you stand up. As soon as the bell rings, you stand up and you say the Pledge of Allegiance to a country, and don't get me wrong. I love where I live at. I love the fact that, I'm here, because I understand there are countries that are a lot worse. I completely understand that. But it just really brought back to mind what type of systematic governmental situation we're in, and we're blind to a lot of things because we get taught how to stay in systems, but the systems do not benefit us, right? The systems do not benefit us. And this is very much a different conversation than I normally have, I know, but we gonna talk about it today, okay? Well, I realized that we get so much caught up in systems that now it has become it's become a habit to where we do that in everyday life, not even realizing that we're doing it. And we're teaching our children these things to keep passing it along. And so what I want, after I researched that, when I was, looking that up, the next thing I want to show you is this right here, because I want to definitely show you how at the end, I want to show you how you can definitely free yourself from this systematic type thinking that does not benefit you. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. So let me show this other screen really quick. I was looking up this other screen right here, and as you can see in the red, right under defense/war, in the red, U.S. total debt. That is how much that the U.S. is in debt, right? That's how much the U.S. is in debt. Well, if you look right under there, it says total personal debt. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm trying to figure out how we even came to this situation of total personal debt. I'm like, okay, well, where's all these numbers coming from? Because according to, a little further down, if you would look, and it's at usdebtclock.org, it says the average person is in debt 39,000. Well, I'm sorry, in the year 2025, that we be in debt over $300,000. Well, I don't plan on borrowing $300,000 from the government, so I'm trying to figure out how they get all these numbers. But what I'm really dealing with is the fact that we are in such a systematic way of life that we don't even prepare ourselves for upcoming things. We're not even getting into the place where we say, you know what, I want to be free of the governmental type thinking where I depend on a government, where I depend on the banking system, where I depend on, the schooling system, because understand, especially me being a mother, I want to make sure that I set my children up for success. I want to make sure that my children understand how they can be successful and not have to depend on someone else to provide something for them to say whether or not they'll be successful or not. And what I'm saying is, and good jobs are good. Don't get me wrong. If you love what you're doing, keep doing it. That's amazing. But I'm talking about that person that feels like they have to work at this job. They feel like they have to work at this job. And if ever there's a threat of being terminated, they're freaking out because they're like, how am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to make it out of this? We know we definitely depend on God, but God says, I want you to think about that. Whenever Moses was like, God, the army's coming after us, and he's at the Red Sea, right? He's at the Red Sea. And he's like, God, how am I going to do this? God then in turn tells him, what's in your hand? A lot of times we have to realize that, yes, we talk to God, we pray to God, but it's what's in our hand. What are you doing with what's in your hand? He understand, even in the book of Exodus, he says, listen, when I tell you to go speak to Pharaoh, he says he will see you as God. And see, a lot of people are like, well, now Shamika, you're going a little too far. Now I need you to hear this. And I hear it with your spiritual ears, okay? Hear this with your spiritual ears. Because even when I'm like, God, well, I don't know enough, Jesus. And I'm saying all these things, but then God even told me, he's like, listen, don't practice what you're going to say because I'm going to put the words in your mouth, right? When he was talking to Moses, he said, Moses, what's in your hand? A lot of times we keep trying to push that. God, take care of this. God, handle this. God, do this. You see what's going on in my job. You see how I wake up, and just dreading to go to work. You see how I'm struggling, to make ends meet. You see how I'm struggling even to provide food on the table. You see how I'm struggling. And of course, it's pouring over into my marriage. It's pouring over into other relationships because of the fact that I'm struggling financially. God, you said that you own a cattle on 1,000 hills. God, do you see this one sheep? We start feeling that way. God, I understand that you have 99 sheep and that they're flourishing, but do you see this one sheep that's lost? And you're trying to talk to God because you feel lost and what you're going to do. And you say, well, God, I'm depending on you, but what's going on? What's going on? I'm giving the way I should. I'm not frivolous with my money. I try to be a good steward of my time, but God, what's going on with me? And I want you to learn how to take the power back into your hand, realizing what's in your hand, what you're capable of. Because a lot of times we don't try something because we're afraid of the risk. We're afraid of what might not happen for us. Well, see, sis, I see it's working for you, but what if that's not my story? And one of my mentors this morning, she was talking, she said, but what if it is? And we're like, well, what if it's not? But what if it is? You have to get past yourself. You have to get past your own paradigm. You have to get past your own, thinking to say, you know what? God, if you did it for them, I know you can do it for me. But this is what he's asking you. What's in your hand? Let me tell you, recently, I actually became a part of a wealth community where we're talking a lot about cryptocurrencies, right? You've been hearing that, seeing it posted all over Facebook. Some of y'all are like, if another person come in my inbox about cryptocurrency, I'm going to scream, I'm going to block them, but what I really realize is sometimes God sends multiple alerts to tell you, hey, sis, hey, son, hey, daughter, look at this. But because of the fact we're ignorant to it, we never really go ahead and say, okay, what is this? Let me just see if maybe it is something, right? We don't go and say, okay, maybe let me get a little knowledge about this before I shut it completely down. Because what I realized is that, I should have had this up, but I'm about to pull it up right now because I want you to completely understand everything that is going on. I want you to completely understand what time and what season we're in. I want you to completely understand all this. And hopefully I'm not lagging here. I pray not. Let's see, there is a smidge of a lag. And we're going to get this right. But to those who have ears to let him hear, That's what it is. Let them hear. Right here, you see CoinGecko, right? Let me just make sure that my picture's still on the side. Yeah, there we go. You see CoinGecko.com. Let me shut some of these other things down. There we go. You see CoinGecko.com. Now, I want you to look at a few things, right? We see the different cryptocurrencies and how they are ranked. Of course, Bitcoin is number one. I told you that's the Mac Daddy of them all. Bitcoin's number one. Ethereum's number two. Binance Coin's number three. XRP number four. What I realize is because we've heard about Bitcoin so much and it's something that we're ignorant in, we don't understand the importance of what's happening. I want you to realize that in just a few years ago, I believe in 2009, 2010 is where Bitcoin, you first started hearing about it, but it was fairly new. I think it was only worth a few cents. I think. Okay.
Pop up on my finger.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna get it. Okay. Close my door, please. But as you can see, Bitcoin, going from being worth a few pennies to now being worth $61,000, 774. I mean, look at that. Look at this price right here, and you're like, well, why is it more than all the rest? The great, if you look even further, this is the market cap right here. Market cap of basically how much is going to be in circulation after a long period of time. But there's a cap on it, right? There's a cap on it. And so what we realize is a lot of times, because we don't have the proper knowledge or proper education of it, that we shut it down. We become like those stiff-necked people in the wilderness. Y'all, listen, we've been wandering for a long time trying to figure out why there is a wealth gap, trying to figure out why it is such a gap. When you have an opportunity right now to close that wealth gap, you have an opportunity right now to begin to change your generational wealth. You have an opportunity right now to impact your great grandchildren. And all you have to do is take that step. All you have to do is take that leap of faith and get the education. That way your life can forever change. But the thing is, you have to step out on faith. You have to step out on faith. You have to take that risk. You have to say, okay, let me get an understanding of it before I completely shut it down. Let me get an understanding of what's going on before I completely shut it down. We're in that season, y'all. We have to learn how, and we have to learn what they're doing differently so that we can also benefit from what's going on. Okay. I love you guys. Listen, I hope you found this. I hope you found this very educational. I hope you found it to where you can definitely benefit from the education that is on here. That you go ahead and look up these sites and begin to see what project's best for you. Look up the white page or the project. See if that project is best for you. And then, if it is, invest in it. If it is, invest in it, okay? I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I hope you have an amazing day, because I love you, because Jesus loves you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Talk to you again soon.